All right, well, welcome to our final Ellsworth High School Coaches Show of the year. Chris Popper, joined by Elvis Crawford.
And we're not in Memphis, by the way.
No, we're not in Memphis. And just so you realize, we're taping this on Halloween, so our special Halloween edition.
Yeah, this is the branch decided to dress up as a 50s theme, and this is what we got.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, speaking of fantastic, Coach, just a fantastic year. The ending is always bittersweet because, I mean, only one team's going to win the final game, but just an incredible year for the Ellsworth Eagles.
Yeah, it was, and you know, the future's obviously bright. We're losing, I believe, 5 seniors, but we've got a majority of our skill guys back and our offensive defensive line, and so that'll be good. And in the game on Saturday, I mean, I obviously played that over my head 1,000 times and watched the film.
It was close.
Yeah, I mean, we were up 14-6, and then we just had you know, momentum in football is such a huge thing, and we go up 14-6, and they actually scored to get the 6 points on, and then they kick it to us. They scored. We'd fumbled the ball. We stopped them in the red zone and fumbled, and they drove the ball down the field and scored after recovering our fumble. And then they kick off, and they line drive it. It was supposed to be an onside kick, but it hits one of our guys up front, bounces off his thigh pad, goes back 10 yards in the air right into their hands. So
that's kind of what happened with MDI the other day. And I mean, those kind of things is just, you have those happen, and it's like all of a sudden, oomph, there's 2 quick scores.
And so they recover that and they score, and then you know, we kicked off to them after one of our scores and our second score, and instead of onside kicking it like we did the first time, and we practiced all week long, and it worked perfect. We were speed guys up in the middle, just blooped it up 20, 30 feet in the air. It only went like 15 yards and dropped in the ground, bounced back right into Connor's arms, and you know, we recovered that well. Second one is supposed to be the same thing, and you know, being high school kids, they make high school mistakes, and our kicker kicked it deep to Tyler Beam, the fastest guy on their team, and we had a chance to tackle him. We didn't wrap up, and he broke the arm tackle and took it back for a touchdown. So we gave up 3 touchdowns in maybe a 3 or 4 minute period, and before you know it, we're down 20-14 going into halftime, and it was one of those days that I didn't want. Weather-wise, it was hot and it was sunny. It was 70-plus degrees down there, and I mean, I was in my coach's shirt, short sleeves the whole game, and so you know, you play 12 guys the entire game, and you just kind of wear down towards the end, and that's what happened. So I think we got it to within 1 score. Connor intercepted a pass and returned it 80 yards for a touchdown, and either late in the 3rd or early in the 4th, and we got it within 1 score, and they scored again, and then it was just, you know, it was too much at that point, and we had trouble moving the ball, and in the second half, you know, we started out great, drove it right down the field, and they didn't have an answer, and but they adjusted, and we unfortunately didn't have the ability to keep their defensive line out of the backfield, so it was tough sledding, and you know, looking back at it, I thought, well, yeah, maybe we should have spread them out a little bit more, but you know, they did everything we thought they were going to do offensively, and even with that, knowing what the plays were, and knowing who was going to get the ball, and you know, we could pretty much call it out, and our defensive guys, Javon calling the plays, they knew what was coming. It's still, you know, you take a step to the right instead of the left, and you know, 32 catches a pass out in the flat, and he's gone down for a touchdown. So just little things like that, and so looking at our game plan and their game plan, we did what got us to where we were, and they did what got us to where they were, and they just had a couple better bounces than we did.
Well, and I mean, let's face it, the Dexter program's been around for a long, long time. They won. I believe they won some class state.
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah.
State titles.
Yeah.
And the Ellsworth program. I mean, even though this is the 5th or 6th season.
Sixth season, and our first eligible for the playoffs.
I mean, it's still in its infancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, to sit back and think where you were and where you are now, and I mean, to just have the success. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of blood and battered bodies. But I mean, there's been incredible strides.
Yeah, there have, and you know, it's it's the youth league, the players coming up through, the guys we've got on the team now. A lot of them played from the beginning of when we started the youth league, and that's when you get kids in that have played football for a long time and they understand the game. It makes a huge difference. And we saw flashes of that last year with some of the kids, and this year, I mean, we've got a back that leads the league in rushing, who's only going to be a junior next year. We got a quarterback with Javon Williams, who's probably one of the fastest kids in the league, and there's a lot more things we can do with him, and we're another year older next year, and hopefully we can diversify and do some more shotgun stuff to get people, give them some space to work, and some things that we haven't been able to do this year. And so, I mean, given what we had when we suit 19 guys on Saturday, and you're looking across the field at 35, I think that the futures bodes well, and it's just a matter of getting that extra 4 or 5 guys that can play at the varsity level, and whether they come in. We had a couple kids come in this year, one who unfortunately was a senior who won't be with us next year, but we had Dakota Corbin, who's a junior, a big kid, 6'2", 215, 20 pounds, first year ever playing, kind of lost out there at times, but next year, I mean, he could be an all-conference player. I mean, it just takes 1 year for that to all kick in. And so I think, getting a few more bodies like that out there, and we could do some damage in the LTC next year.
Obviously, kids have to hit the weight room in the off-season. I mean, and many of them will be playing winter sports, which is good because you want kids to diversify and to play other sports because then it gets them ready. I mean, that's something we talked about at the beginning of the season, is that there's a tend for people to concentrate and play only one sport, and that's not good for a high school kid.
Yeah, it's not. And you look at, and that's one of the things I look at this team. Over the previous years, we've had no varsity athletes. Well, you look at what we've got on the team now. We've got 3 or 4 varsity basketball players, 3 varsity basketball players, Javon, Connor, and Malcolm Zvek. And Dakota Corbin plays basketball as well. He played on the JV last year. So you look at that, and once those athletes start coming into the program, that's where you start to see the changes. And Chuck Hughes he's a junior this year, senior next year. He's 200 and something pounds, fullback, and I mean, he'll be a force to deal with next year as well. And he scored our first 2 touchdowns ever in a playoff game on Saturday. So I think that just having these kids talk to other kids, and the other thing too, I think that it will be crucial is for parents and athletes alike to understand that this whole concussion thing that's been going around, and it's almost an epidemic at this point in the news, not concussion wise, but they have to separate the NFL from high school football. It's 2 totally separate animals. I think we had 1 concussion this year. Well, take any other sport, show me another sport that probably every sport out there, basketball, whatever, soccer, you're going to have 1 concussion or more. So, the kids we had. I mean,
you emphasize safety. You emphasize a new way of tackling.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, and it is safety first. I mean, you're not, go out there and hit. I mean, you're teaching them how to hit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we take the helmet out of the game as much as possible. The equipment that's the best you can get, and so it's fairly safe. Injuries were low, and the nice thing is the kids that have played this. We have Andrew Brown, who started with the league. We have Ethan Kane, who started with the league. Damian Carter's played. I think he started. He took a year or 2 off and is back again. And then Dante Cross was new this year. Craig Ridley, who's been with the program forever. These guys came up and went through the whole way, and we're going to miss them. But Craig Ridley, the last game of the year, all year long we tell the seniors, this goes by so fast, enjoy it, work hard for getting into that postseason. In the last game against WA, he's leaning over the fence about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I go, "What's wrong, Craig?" He goes, "Coach, I now understand what you've been saying all year long. I didn't realize how much I'm going to miss this, and now it's the last game." Unfortunately, we got another game after that, but and they come back to help out afterwards. We've had Devin Wright on the sidelines with us all year long and in practices. He's been our speed guy and on the look team, and comes out in his cleats and runs for us. So, you know, they keep coming back, and it's a great sport. You don't see that with a lot of sports. Right. So
you're losing a coach.
No, well, no, we're not losing a coach.
Oh, there you go.
The sheriff's department's losing a coach.
Okay.
Gives us more time.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, Coach Bishop, I hope he'll be back. He better be back. He's our special teams guy. He's our wide receiver coach and defensive back coach. And I thought our defensive backs played great on Saturday, and it shows all the hard work that he's put in. And they completed one pass downfield, a slant pass, and we hit him immediately after he caught it. They didn't complete anything long on us. All their passes were screen passes, which we repped all year long. Or all week long, we actually had Ethan Desjardins, who's our biggest lineman, standing there, and they go to throw the screen pass, and we talked to our lineman about not getting upfield. Don't chase the quarterback. He's not going anyplace. Well, sure enough, he got to where he was supposed to, maintain his area of responsibility, and there's the ball, and he looked at it. I could see his eyes from the side like, what do I do now? So yeah, I think we've got a lot of good things coming up.
All right. The camera's yours. I know you want to thank the community.
Yeah, all the parents. I mean, we've had team dinners. We've had team breakfast on Saturday. They came out and cooked breakfast for us. And, you know, Jessica Brown has been spearheading the whole thing. And God bless her, she's been there for all the team dinners. We have great team dinners, spaghetti and subs and what else do we have? There's just a whole bunch of different things.
Burgers one night.
Burgers, yeah, burgers, and we had burgers with the entire league, and that was a great event because the younger players got to interact with the older players. Yeah. Governors who gave us rolls every week when we needed them, or biscuits, or sub rolls, or whatever. Yep, and so it's been, you know, the whole community's been involved. It's a huge turnout on Saturday. We had a ton of people down there, and it was nice to see. Administration, Mr. Clifford, Mr. Frost, Mr. Clark, they've been right there with us and been a huge help and been supportive and doing everything they can. And you know, I just hope we can. I know we can build on this and take it to the next level next year.
All right. Our final coaches show, Elvis has left the sidelines for at least this until August.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.